Kevin Stefanski just exploded on live television. Not over a bad call, not over a missed kick, over a single question. Kay Cabot simply said what every Browns fan's been shouting for weeks. Why is Dillon Gabriel still starting? That one line pierced through months of polite press room chatter. And in that instant, Cleveland's quiet tension detonated. The cameras caught it. Stefanski's jaw tightening, eyes narrowing, voice trembling between anger and panic. This wasn't a coach protecting his quarterback anymore. This was a man defending his pride. Because the Browns aren't just losing games, they're losing belief. An offense stuck in neutral, a locker room split down the middle, and on the sideline, a rookie named Shedeur Sanders waiting, ready, while the season burns in slow motion. Kay didn't create the controversy. She exposed it. Her question ripped open what the organization's been trying to hide. The fans have moved on. The players are restless, and the coach who once looked unshakable now looks afraid to change. What started as a post-game interview turned into a public meltdown, and now the entire NFL is watching a franchise unravel in real time. Because this story isn't just about quarterback stats or play calling. It's about leadership, pride, and the moment a city finally said, enough. And the question hanging over Cleveland tonight isn't if Stefanski will make a change. It's how much damage will be left by the time he finally does. It started with one microphone, one question, and one coach who finally cracked. The Browns had just dropped another winnable game. The kind of flat, lifeless performance that doesn't just hurt the record, it drains the soul out of the fan base. Reporters filed into the press room expecting cliches. Instead, they got a front row seat to a meltdown. Kay Cabot leaned forward and asked the question hanging over the entire city. Why is Dillon Gabriel still starting? Silence. Stefanski blinked once, then twice, before his voice cut through the tension. Sharp, defensive, laced with frustration. His answer wasn't really an answer. He circled around preparation, mumbled about process, and tried to steer the conversation back to generic coach talk. But the moment had already shifted. Everyone in that room could feel it. The mask had slipped. For months, Stefanski had carried himself like a man in control, calm, measured, unbothered. That day, the composure vanished. He wasn't fielding a question. He was fighting for control of the narrative. Because Kay hadn't accused him of anything. She'd exposed everything. Gabriel's struggles were obvious. The offense was predictable. The fans were restless. And his refusal to acknowledge any of it made him look detached from reality. The clip went viral before he even left the podium. Headlines read, "Stefanski snaps at reporter." Commentators called it the moment everything changed. It wasn't just another bad presser. It was the spark that lit the fire. By the next morning, talk shows replayed his outburst on loop. Fan forums lit up. Hashtags calling for Shedeur Sanders trended across the country. One question had cracked open the Browns' entire facade. And behind that polite sideline smile, Kevin Stefanski knew the truth. He could dodge the media, but he couldn't dodge what came next. A full-blown quarterback rebellion. Dillon Gabriel wasn't supposed to be the villain in this story. When he first stepped under center, there was hope. Flashes of rhythm, short completions, a sense that maybe this offense could find stability. But stability soon turned into stagnation. Every snap feels predictable, like watching a movie where you already know the ending. Inside the locker room, players notice. Receivers stop running crisp routes because they know the ball isn't coming. Linemen sigh after another check down on 3rd and long. You can feel the frustration simmering beneath every press conference platitude. And yet, Stefanski refuses to pull the trigger. To him, benching Gabriel means admitting he chose wrong. that his system failed to elevate the quarterback he believed in. So he keeps doubling down, hoping consistency will somehow transform mediocrity into magic. But the fans aren't fooled. They've seen enough. They're not angry that Gabriel struggles. They're angry that the coaching staff keeps pretending he doesn't. Because this isn't just a quarterback problem anymore. It's a leadership problem. And every cautious throw, every wasted drive, every empty promise is eroding the one thing Cleveland can't afford to lose again. Every great story has a shadow, the figure everyone talks about but rarely sees. For the Cleveland Browns, that shadow has a name: Shedeur Sanders. He's not the problem. He's the what if, the question haunting every sideline conversation, every sports radio call, every frustrated fan watching another short throw die at the line of scrimmage. What if the Browns just gave him the chance? Because Shedeur isn't a mystery anymore. He's a proven playmaker, calm under pressure, mechanically polished, confident in chaos. He doesn't just throw, he commands. He brings something Cleveland hasn't felt in years: presence. And that's what scares Kevin Stefanski most. From the outside, Sanders looks like the perfect fix, the spark, the energy, the future. But to Stefanski, starting him means more than changing quarterbacks. It means admitting he's been wrong this whole time. It means the fans were right, the media was right, Mary Kay was right, and for a coach already fighting to hold control, that kind of admission feels like surrender. Meanwhile, Sanders waits, silent, professional, composed. He doesn't rant or complain. He prepares. Players see it. Coaches see it. Everyone knows the kid's ready. Even veterans whisper about it in the locker room. Where are they going to let him play? Every time Gabriel misses an open receiver, the camera finds Sanders on the sideline, helmet on, eyes focused, jaw tight. It's not impatience, it's readiness. The kind of readiness that makes everyone else look hesitant by comparison. Fans have stopped debating whether Sanders should start. They're asking why he hasn't already. Because every wasted drive, every stalled possession, every silent stadium feels like another reminder that the Browns are ignoring the one player who can bring the pulse back. Shedeur Sanders isn't just waiting for his moment. He is the moment. And every week Cleveland delays it, that shadow grows longer. The first fractures didn't happen on the field. They happened in the locker room. At first, it was subtle. Shorter conversations. Longer silences. Players keeping their distance after another failed drive. But soon, the frustration became impossible to hide. Veterans tried to toe the company line. We trust the process. We believe in our guy. But the younger players weren't buying it. They'd seen what Shedeur Sanders could do in practice. They'd seen him zip throws into tight windows, read blitzes, command respect. So every time Dillon Gabriel jogged onto the field, it wasn't confidence they felt. It was confusion. The divide was no longer rumor. It was reality. Half the team still backed their coach. The other half just wanted change. Any change. Because nothing kills a locker room faster than hopelessness. And that's exactly what Cleveland was starting to feel. This wasn't about disloyalty or rebellion. It was about urgency, the desperate need for a spark before the season slipped completely out of reach. And every day, Shedeur Sanders stayed on the sideline, that spark burned colder. Kevin Stefanski used to be called the calm coach, the man who never flinched no matter the chaos around him. But now, calm looks like denial. And every microphone, every camera, every press conference has turned into a battlefield. After Mary Kay's question went viral, the narrative flipped overnight. He wasn't being praised for composure anymore. He was being accused of hiding behind it. Talk shows replayed the clip in slow motion, analyzing his tone like it was a crime scene. Sports networks called it the moment the fan base lost faith. Inside the organization, that pressure multiplied. Front office meetings grew tense. Ownership wanted answers. Fans wanted accountability. Stefanski, caught in the middle, reacted the only way a cornered man does: defensively. Every time he stepped in front of a camera, he looked like someone trying to hold back a flood with a paper towel. He said the right words. "We're sticking to our plan. We believe in development." But his eyes told a different story. He was rattled. He knew the narrative was slipping out of his control. And then came the hashtag #FireStefanski. It trended across the country within hours. Not because of one loss, but because fans were done with excuses. The $6 ticket scandal, the conservative play calling, the refusal to adapt. It all blended into one message. The city's lost trust in its coach. Even the players noticed. Executives watch numbers slide in real time. Ticket sales, viewership, sponsorship renewals, all pointing the same direction: down. Corporate partners have started calling for updates. Translation? They're nervous. Even the stadium staff can feel the tension. It's hard to sell hot dogs when the crowd is half the size it used to be. Jimmy Haslam, the owner who once boasted about turning Cleveland into a contender, now sits through meetings that feel more like interventions. Marketing directors talk about rebuilding fan trust. Finance teams project losses if attendance keeps dropping. And somewhere in those meetings, Stefanski's name always comes up, not as a coach, but as a variable. Meanwhile, the locker room keeps cracking under the pressure. Players scroll social media after games and see their own fan base begging for change. Even the defense, the one bright spot, looks deflated. They're playing their hearts out just to hand the ball back to an offense that can't score. It's not just a losing streak anymore, it's a credibility crisis. Every department, from ticket sales to public relations, is scrambling to manage optics. Because in the NFL, perception is profit. And right now, Cleveland looks broken. The organization's biggest fear isn't losing another game. It's losing the city that's held them up through every failure, every false promise, every rebuild. The Browns have reached the point no franchise wants to face, when faith in the product disappears faster than hope for the season. Every franchise reaches a moment that defines it, a fork in the road where playing it safe means losing everything. For the Browns, that moment has arrived. Two paths now stretch before Kevin Stefanski. The first is the one he's already walking. Loyalty to Dylan Gabriel, commitment to the process, belief that stability will somehow fix what everyone can see is broken. It's the comfortable path, predictable, cautious, and doomed. Because the truth is simple. Stability doesn't save you when the foundation itself is cracking. The second path is harder, but it's the only one that leads anywhere new. It means starting Shedeur Sanders. It means risk. It means admitting that the old plan failed. And that's where pride becomes the enemy. Stefanski's reputation was built on control. Measured decisions, calm under fire, emotionless logic. But leadership isn't about control. It's about courage. Right now, courage means change. And change means swallowing every word of coach speak about developmental timelines and sticking to the plan. The city has already chosen its side. Fans chant Sanders' name. Players whisper about it in hallways. Analysts say it out loud on national television. Everyone knows what needs to happen. Everyone, except the man holding the headset. The danger isn't just losing more games. It's losing the locker room. It's losing the belief that this team still has a pulse. Because the longer Stefanski waits, the more it looks like fear, not strategy. He's standing at that fork now. Every camera pointed straight at him. Every headline waiting for his next move. And the question isn't whether he'll make the switch. It's whether he'll make it before it's too late. Because sometimes the only thing riskier than change is refusing to make it. Kevin Stefanski stands at a crossroads, one decision away from either saving his career or watching it collapse in slow motion. Because at this point, there's no mystery left. Everyone knows what's wrong. Everyone knows who can fix it. And every week he delays, the window closes a little more. The Browns have talent everywhere. A defense that fights, receivers begging for the ball, a fan base desperate to believe again. But belief doesn't survive indecision. You can't inspire players to fight for a vision that keeps shifting every Sunday. You can't sell hope when the product looks afraid to take a chance. Starting Shedeur Sanders isn't about headlines or hype. It's about leadership. It's about showing your team that you're willing to act when it matters, even if it means admitting you were wrong, because that's what great coaches do. They don't cling to control. They adapt to reality, and the reality is brutal. Dillon Gabriel isn't the future. The fans know it, the locker room knows it, and deep down, Stefanski probably knows it too. If he keeps ignoring it, the season won't just slip away. It'll unravel piece by piece. The locker room will fracture. The fan base will turn apathy into protest. And ownership, watching revenue and reputation bleed out, will make the decision for him. Cleveland can't afford another lost year. Not when the fix is standing 10 feet away, ready to lead. Sanders isn't a miracle. He's momentum. And momentum is all this team needs to remember who they are. So now it comes down to this: adapt or perish. Because in the modern NFL, stubbornness isn't loyalty, it's suicide. And if Kevin Stefanski doesn't make the change soon, someone else will. What happens next will define not just his career, but the future of the entire Cleveland Browns franchise. Kevin Stefanski's entire season now balances on one decision. Every excuse, every press conference deflection, every "we're sticking to the plan" has led him right here. Because everyone sees it now. The fans, the locker room, even the analysts who once defended him. This isn't about patience anymore. It's about courage. Cleveland's roster isn't broken. The defense is elite. The receivers are open. The energy is waiting to ignite. All they're missing is belief. And belief starts at quarterback. Every Sunday, that sideline camera pans across Shedeur Sanders. Helmet on, eyes locked, body still. He's not sulking. He's waiting. Waiting for the moment the coach finally chooses the future instead of clinging to the past. That's what this decision really means. If Stefanski starts Sanders, he admits he misjudged Gabriel. He admits he's human. But he also proves he's a leader. Because leadership isn't about never being wrong. It's about being brave enough to correct it. Keep Gabriel. And the message is simple. Pride matters more than progress. Make the switch, and you tell an entire city that you still believe in possibility, that you still want to win, that you're done surviving and ready to fight. Cleveland's been waiting for that signal. The players need it. The fans deserve it. And the franchise may not survive another month without it. Adapt or perish, that's the choice. Because the modern NFL doesn't wait for anyone. It rewards the bold and forgets the stubborn. So the question isn't whether Shedeur Sanders is ready. It's whether Kevin Stefanski is. And if he isn't, the city that once cheered his name will write the ending for him. One empty seat, one quiet Sunday at a time.